I think I might.
You tell us.
At the moment, the resources that they use are mainly connected to previous campaigns that they have. So the students come up with the resources themselves, and they have these documents which have how to go through the CJJ process based on different topics within the campaign that they're running. But in recent years, in terms of actually accessing resources that have been used by the YCW and that are really truly helpful, I don't think that's been happening. And I definitely agree with you. There's been a lack of really utilizing any resources that could help with discussion and properly running reviews. But that's as much as I know.
There's a priest here who tries to. He says whenever he meets somebody from the Catholic Education Office, he mentions it to them, but he hasn't got very far apparently.
I used to work for St. Lucia's College, and we had people come out from YCS to talk to the, what do you call the person who's not, the RE coordinator. And first of all, we wouldn't see her forever, then he saw her, and nothing happened because it's not a mercy thing, like it's a mercy Cox College. If it was a mercy, people said, yes, we want YCS. Guess what? There'll be YCS in every mercy school in Australia. But it's all this like, oh well, you know, oh well. Yeah. And there is a national YCS, and there are plenty of documents, but it's a matter of getting into schools. Going there, and someone's got to say, we want YCS in the school because we have social justice groups. I was actually social justice coordinator, and they're run by the RAC.
Yeah.
And when I was there, I got them to do their own stuff. But to get YCS in is like pushing uphill, really is. And we had a YCS worker, Jess Russell. She went to schools. She was one who went to Salem. She went to everywhere, and it's like the doors were shutting in her face every time she went.
Yeah, you need that leadership, don't you, to support.
You need more than the talk of the leadership, because a lot of the glossy magazines that advertise most of the Catholic schools, if you read and then asked that was carried out, you'd have YCS at every school because it takes a lot of work. But as we know, it also takes a serious look at things, not just the headline to make it appear as though it's happened.
Just want to make 3 comments. First of all, about Jessica, who worked at Ballot for 2 years, and we got into, because I've got a school connection, we got into 6 schools. Her own school was the Mercy College of Heidelberg, and they wouldn't let her back in. So I just picked up the phone to the Mercy Order, because I knew the 3 bosses, and said, are we here about spreading Christian mission or the Mercy mission? And she was allowed in the school. Then her priest took her to Dennis Harvard, we discovered was a YCW devotee. She got $15,000. So I think it sort of shows, but the disappointment, she worked over the 2 years, she finished her term, and all of that groundwork has been laid at Emmaus College in Forest Hill, Padua, and several schools in the northern region where she comes from, but it wasn't followed through. And we need some sort of continuity. Now I know young people committing is difficult, but these days a lot of young people take a gap year, and I'm sort of saying, if you got it took her about 6 months she had her own mentor plus me to sort of get her to the conference. But I just can't sit in the back of the room, and she just blew people away with her thing. And then she took 2 of her people to a Archdiocesan conference because she had to go. They got to blew people away, and they are there. The talent's there, but it just needs. What we need to do is to foster and do it. On your point about mentoring about staff, I was in the Catholic schools for 46 years, and that was a key thing for me. My very first RE coordinator, they taught me faith called not taught. So it's not just having people with religious qualification. That doesn't mean a thing, because that was going to be a big solution from George. It's got to have someone with a mission and commitment, because too often the nuns walked out and the brothers walked out, and then they put a layperson in front of an RE class and said, "You're Catholic, you teach RE." Of course, that was bloody useless. So, but operating on that principle, we got a core of teachers in my last school who were committed, and we got kids transformed and asked them the extra questions. And I think what you're doing that's the way to go.
Yes,
so just one more, just to follow up. There's 2 apologies for today's meeting. Both teachers, both have accidentally discovered CJJ accidentally,
yes.
And they're enthused. Like one's in Warrnambool, one's in Dromana, so they are apologies today. But but they're just crying out for something, for social justice.
Alongside of the ACU, which is one of the biggest trainers of teachers in Australia. And how can we participate in even teacher training as well?
Yeah, Greg, I was just, from your professional side, what you're talking about, like, is that obviously we've got girls and Catholic schools, right? But the thing about it is that some of the Catholic schools now, whatever, is that they send people to East Timor or whatever. Some of the colleges out in Essendon, they're getting community engagement officers or whatever. It's interesting to see at a meeting that I see ACU send someone along to be committed. So I think that just coming, because the way that I see it is some of the schools and the universities are unsure how to engage in the community, engage with their students. And do you understand what I mean? From your perspective up there, what you're talking about, trying to get the RE teachers to mentor or whatever, to say, well, is that it needs to come from the top a bit more too, would it be? Like, hey, we don't just go to East Timor and come back and pray about it, and it's all about see, judge, act. There's the see and the judge, but the action is anyway. You know,
it's about being reflective, isn't it? Whatever you do, whether you go to East Timor or you go down the street, it's whether you can reflect on that in a structured way. And for the YCS or the YSW to be successful, you need programs. You need a structure associated with it. We live by those programs, and you also need the formation that comes through training weekends, we call them, and leadership, key leader schools, and so on. That structure's not there.
Because just one thing where is the way that I say it, is that you've got these programs now, like Warren, the science teachers at the school are leading the social justice.
Yes.
Because they're looking at climate change,
Yeah.
where the food is going to come out. They're the RE teachers.
And they're on the money, aren't they? And you've got to say that our kids today are fantastic. They have got a good set of principles. It's just that how do you transform that then, into action, into that formation that goes with action.
Excuse me, Max.
Just briefly, Greg, talking about the schools thing. I know a number of schools that at the end of the year, they deliberately discourage their Year 12s from going to schoolies up in Queensland, getting themselves legless and stupid and alcohol, and deliberately go to an overseas immersion program where they build a school or whatever, health linear. They're actually doing the see, judge and act, but don't know it. That's the irony. Like they're actually doing that, but don't have that methodology, the structure of the spirituality of karma. But by saying we're not going to go getting drunk in Queensland, we're going to go to Indonesia or Timor or whatever and do this or that.
Something that's really exciting.
And the social justice into the environment and whatever it might be, Caritas, etc. They're actually doing it, but don't realise it in a funny sort of way. So if you can sort of find a rewind button to help them say, well, what you're actually doing comes from this tradition, keep building on it, that would be a key, I think. It's not that they're not doing it, otherwise they're all going to be Queensland being stupid, but they're actually doing it in a funny sort of way.
And here we are down the road at the Catholic Education Leadership Centre, down the corner of Huddle Street down there, where the old presbytery was. That is one of the best leadership centres that I've ever seen around the world, and it cost millions and millions to build. It's always full of teachers. Why can't we be part of that in some way? And as the academic institutions, the University of Divinity that's here, the ACU, and so on, we've got all this infrastructure there. In 20 years' time, we're going to have buildings and churches that are going to be empty everywhere unless the lay people in this church really accept the mission that's theirs, rightly theirs, and accept responsibility for the church and for formation and for transformation of society.
Now, I'm sorry to interrupt. I think, not to everybody, because there's a whole lot of issues that we could go down the track on. But we do have a program today, and there are other people here who would like to make a contribution, which I think everyone would find